Dear students, today we are going to discuss the play, The Proposal. We have already started it, and if we recapitulate what had been discussed in the previous class, Lomov and Natalia are embroiled in a great argument over a piece of land called the Oxen Meadows. Lomov claims that the Oxen Meadows belong to his family. Natalia counters it. She says that the land Oxen Meadows had belonged to the Chubukov family for many years. Lomov refers to family history. He says that there was a time when the Oxen Meadows was a subject of dispute, when the Oxen Meadows was a bone of contention. But now there is enough proof that the land belonged to the Lomovs. He said that one of his ancestors, his aunt's grandmother, had given the land free of cost to be used by Chubukov's grandfather, to the farmers of Chubukov's grandfather. That means the Lomov family had given the land Oxen Meadows free of cost to the farmers of the Chubukov family. Lomover পরিবার চুবুকভ পরিবারের কৃষকদের জমিটা বিনা পয়সায় ব্যবহার করতে দিয়েছিল. That means the land belonged to the Lomovs. In return, the farmers made bricks for the Lomovs family. And as they had been enjoying the right of the land for 40 years, they thought that it belonged to them. That is what Lomov said. But Natalia countered him by saying that her ancestors, her grandfather, her great-grandfather had established that the land of the Chubukovs extended to the burnt marsh. তাদের জমি burnt marsh পর্যন্ত বিস্তৃত. Now, if you remember the position of the Oxen Meadows is something in between the Barcode and the burnt marsh. এটা Barcode এবং burnt marshের মধ্যে. So, if Natalia's ancestors had established that their land extended up to the burnt marsh, then it included the Oxen Meadows. This was Natalia's argument. Now, Lomov said that he had documents to prove it. And he again referred to the family history, but Natalia refused to listen to him. She told Lomov that she could not understand the stories about these aunts and grandfathers and grandmothers. And she also said that she was not arguing over the piece of land for money or anything, because Oxen Meadows is a small piece of land. What is the area of the Oxen Meadows? It is only 5 desiatin according to the Russian measurement, or 13.5 acres. And the cost was only 300 rubles. So it was not a very expensive property. খুব দামি সম্পত্তি কিছু নয়. Then why was Natalia fighting over it? She was fighting over it because of a principle. What was the principle of Natalia? The principle of Natalia is like this: she does not want anything that belongs to others, and she will not give anything that belongs to her. And Lomov also said that he was acting on principle. He also said that he could gift the land to Natalia. সেটা তাকে উপহারও দিতে পারে. Now this statement of Lomov infuriated Natalia. To infuriate means to make angry. Natalia was angry at Lomov's proposal that he would gift the land to her. We are starting from that point. Page 123. Look at page 123, what Natalia said. I can make you a present of them myself because they are mine. Natalia told Lomov that there was no need for Lomov to give the land to her as a present, because the land belonged to her and she could make a present of them to Lomov. জমিটা তো আমারই, সুতরাং উপহার আমি আপনাকে দিতে পারি। Your behavior, Ivan Vasilevich, is strange to say the least. Up to this, we have always thought of you as a good neighbor, a friend. And Natalia tells Lomov that her opinion about Lomov has changed. There was a time when Natalia looked upon Lomov as a good neighbor, but now her opinion has changed. She does not think that Lomov is either a neighbor or a good friend. Last year we lent you our threshing machine. Natalia says that as a gesture, একটা ভালো মনোভাব দেখানোর জন্য, as a gesture the Chubukovs had lent the threshing machine to Lomov. Threshing machine. First of all, we have to understand what is meant by the word thresh. What is meant by this word? To thresh means to separate the grain from the corn. খোসা থেকে শস্যকে আলাদা করা. That is called threshing. Now it can be done manually. Manually means by hand. We can manually separate the grain from the corn, but it will take a lot of time. It will be very time consuming. That is why man has invented a machine called threshing machine. The threshing machine can separate the grain from the corn very rapidly. খুব তাড়াতাড়ি খোসাটা থেকে শস্যটাকে বের করে আনতে পারে. This is called threshing machine. Now both the Lomov and the Chubukov family were landlords. So they had vast amount of land and a lot of crop was produced. প্রচুর শস্য উৎপন্ন হতো. Both the families needed the threshing machine. Lomov's threshing machine, perhaps it had gone wrong or it was not operative, হয়তো খারাপ হয়েছিল. So the Chubukovs had lent the threshing machine to Lomov. Although on that account, we had to put off our own threshing till November. And Natalia says that the Chubukov family had to make a sacrifice. They could not thresh their own crops. Their own threshing had to be put off. As you know, the word put off, the phrasal verb, it means to postpone. Multubi rakha. Their own threshing had to be postponed. But to help their neighbor, they had done it. But you behaved to us as if we were gypsies. And Natalia says, though they had helped Lomov in his time of need, now Lomov treats them, looks upon them as gypsies. What is meant by the word gypsy? The gypsies is a nomadic community. The word nomad means people who roam about from place to place in search of livelihood. যারা জীবিকার জন্য দেশ থেকে দেশান্তরে ঘুরে বেড়ায় তাদেরই বলে নোম্যাড, বাংলায় বলে যাযাবর. So according to Natalia, Lomov was treating them as gypsies. The gypsies have no land, they have no property. So Lomov was behaving in such a manner that they had no land. She was saying that he would give the land to Natalia as if Natalia had no land. Giving me my own land, indeed. আমার নিজের জমি আমাকেই আবার উপহার দিচ্ছেন. Natalia is enraged that Lomov is making a gift of her land to her. তারই জমি তাকে উপহার দিচ্ছে. No, really, that's not at all neighborly. And Natalia says that Lomov's behavior is not at all neighborly. That means it does not befit a good neighbor. In my opinion, it's even impudent. Impudent means rude, impolite, rude. According to Natalia, Lomov's behavior was rude, if you want to know. So this video comes to an end here. I will upload another one.